Hey, welcome to Romance Happy Hour. I'm Dylann Crush, and I'm here tonight with my co-hostess, Dawn Ludicky. And we have, I don't know, do we have, technically, I guess we have two guests. We have the amazing Stacey Lynn Hafner with us, and then we also have my alter ego, Eve London. So I guess I'm here as two people tonight. Since we
Yeah.
had a last minute cancellation, I'm stepping in and I'm going to be multiple personalities tonight.
Okay. Can I say something? Because I just had this thought pop in my head, and I thought it was
Could I
funny.
ever even stop you from saying something, Dawn? No, I don't think
No,
so.
no.
Yes, please.
Today we were at a luncheon, and people were introducing their businesses, and there was one guy representing two businesses, and so he introduced himself with one business on one side, and then he ran across the room, and he
Oh,
introduced himself as as the other business on the other side, and I was just like wishing that you could be actually like in two of these
two
windows.
screens.
Yeah.
I mean, so before I went public as Eve London, I'm looking up because on my top shelf up here, I used to do this thing called, oh gosh, what was it called? What was it called? I forget what it was called, but we would do like this, well, they called it the Wheel of Smut, and they'd spin it every week, and then whatever prompt it landed on, all the participating authors would write a scene that had to do with that. And so I did that as Eve London, and so then I would have like one scene every week that I would post, but I would go on live for the wheel spin and everything, and I would wear like these red heart-shaped sunglasses and like this black and red long-haired wig because I really was supposed to be keeping it a secret that I was two people. So I still do have my disguise. It's up there. If I need
So
it.
if you had that, you could be like, and you had two things. You could be like, I'm Dylan Crush, blah blah blah, and then if you had another show or another camera, you could be like,
Exactly. Yeah. The two
I'm Eve
cameras.
London. I'm like,
I could do that.
it would be really
I
fun, but
also
very
I also
inefficient.
interviewed myself one time. So it was for some author thing, and so I don't know, you know how you like those TikTok videos where it'll be like the one person and then it'll flip to it's the same person, but they're wearing like a different hair
Yeah.
and different shirt or whatever. And so I did that and I spliced it together. So I was interviewing myself.
That's funny.
But yeah, I could have done that, I suppose, but I don't know how I would do that live because
I know.
I'm
You'd
like
have to have
Clark Kent and
two
Superman. You
cameras.
never see me in the same place together.
Yeah, you'd have to paint one of your other walls black or something, a different color.
Right. That would be a lot of effort for tonight. I'm sorry. At the last minute. That would be a lot of effort.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And I'm not saying you're not worth it. I'm just saying that would be a lot of effort. So instead, I just put the slash on my names. That was easier.
That was easier.
Yes,
and
it was.
Probably more efficient, but
it was
less fun.
Less showy.
Yes.
Less showman. Yeah.
So yeah. So Dawn, what have you been up to?
I have been working my butt off. I did not cuss. I just want to put it there. I'm trying to be better for our, could I say it, last couple episodes.
You can totally say that. I was about to ask you if you wanted to announce it.
Yeah. So Dylan and I have decided that with everything going on in our lives, we need to take a break in 2026. So these will be the last 3 episodes that we are doing. I know. Dylan had tossed around the idea of maybe keeping it on, but moving it around and everything. But with just life the way it is and how long we've gone so far, it's time for us to take a break. But we love you all.
I know. I'm sorry, Deanna.
I know.
I mean, we're still gonna be here. We're just not gonna be here.
Yeah.
We'll still be around. And yeah, so we are gonna take a break in 2026. And and I don't know. We don't know. We'll have some conversations about what's gonna happen after that.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Because I don't know. It's a lot of work. Especially with to keep our 2 Thursday nights a month.
Yeah.
agree.
Especially when your kids get in high school. And
Mhm.
I mean, you had kids in high school all along, and you were like, I'm missing my kids' sports game.
Well, my kids didn't do sports like that. It was more like my older two stopped sports when they were in like middle school and
Oh,
freshmen in high school. And those games were on Thursdays, but like right after school. They never made it to varsity level sports.
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm afraid because my one is going to be going into high school soon, and right now it's like I've literally run from a football game to romance happy hour before, and and the work to romance happy hour, but soon it's going to be like sports game or romance happy hour. You choose.
I know.
Mhm.
I know.
So,
Well, you got
yeah.
the younger two coming up, and they're both
I
going to
do.
be in all the sports things.
And they're Irish twins, so it's like one after another. So
Mhm.
I don't have that break. And they've just both decided to do football, which I love them both for that. So
Mhm.
they're
My
at
kids
their
stopped playing football this year, and I
Really?
mean, I was thankful for the sake of his brain, like thankful because I've seen. I mean, it's nuts. I mean, he's a junior this year, and over the course of the past several years, I mean, there was one kid on his team that broke his back. I mean, there've been a lot of concussions, and so like as a mama, it's kind of like, oh. So as a mom, I'm like happy that he decided not to play football, but then I'm also super sad because I really, really, really enjoy watching my kids do something that they enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just the bigger they get, the harder the hits and all that. And so yeah.
I know I'm going to cringe in the future because this is one of my child's second year, and then the other one's first year. And I was honestly surprised because my younger one is really tiny. And so when he said, Mom, I want to play football, even me and my husband were talking, and he's like, no, he doesn't. He likes to play video games. I'm like, I know, but he said he wants to play football. And we're like, do we let him? And I'm like, yeah, like we let him. And so like he is all in it. And it was great because he got really accepted into the team because they're like, guess what, kid? You're the only sixth grader to try out for the football team. You're one of the dudes. And so because he was like the only sixth grader to try out for the football team, for the junior high football team, they like accepted him, and he had a really tough year the year before. So it's really helped him out a lot.
But maybe he's the smallest and he can just like run fast and get past all of them before he gets tackled.
Well, that's what we're trying to tell him because right now he gets to play so they have a fifth quarter here because we live in small town Montana.
Yeah.
So they have a fifth quarter so the sixth graders can play. And so he gets like on the fourth quarter, he gets like 3 spots in to play. And then the fifth quarter, he gets to play. He did convince his other friend to come in halfway through, who was actually tinier than him.
Oh, wow. All right.
So yeah, it was interesting because the superintendent's boy, and if he ever watches this show, I'm going to be like, yep, that's true. But the superintendent's son at the very first day of practice told him, you're going to be a bench warmer. And I'm like, really, dude? But he's rocking it and he's loving it.
Well, good.
And he's learning and he loves it. And so my kid who's coming from the couch who loves video games is now playing football. So
so that's pretty much what you've been up to is watching football.
Yes.
Okay.
I actually I changed into this nice sweater for you guys because I actually had on plaid, black and white, because we're black, white, and red. And then I had and I have to wear these so that, I can hear you guys really well. But I had made myself little earrings with footballs and their jerseys with their numbers on it. So those were my lucky earrings. So I wore those all day but they lost. So I had to take them off.
I had football earrings that I was wearing to the games, and now, but at least they didn't have his number on him. Well, his number changed every time he played a game. He was always a different number because he would always lose his jersey, and they would just give him a spare one. But anyways, so now you should be writing some football romances.
I should be, sports romance. I've never dipped into that before, so yeah. But what about you? What have you been up to? I actually talked for maybe 13 minutes. So, I mean, we need to move on to you, Dylan.
Well, I will fill you in real quick. Since Eve is a guest tonight, Eve, I have 2 Eve books that came out this month, and I'll read a little bit from both of them. So today is actually release day from one of my Eve Lennon books. It is Mountain Man Forbidden. So I'm going to read a little bit from that, and then I'm going to read a little bit from October's Bad Boy Cullen, and those are both steamy shorts, like novella length. So yeah, so I'll read some of that. As far as news for Dylan, I've got I'm going to Las Vegas next week. Again, like 2 times in 1 year, I will be going to Las Vegas for Author Nation. So last time I went to Las Vegas in May for Book Lovers Con, the conference itself was a lot of fun, but I've decided I am not a Vegas person anymore. I don't know that I ever really was a Vegas person. But yeah, Vegas is different now than it was when I used to go, like back a while ago. It's different now, being on the Strip and everything, and I didn't really enjoy it so much, and I especially did not enjoy paying like $15 for like a bottle of water. So I'm going to Vegas again next week for Author Nation, and that'll be cool. They do have, if anybody listening or watching is in the Las Vegas area, on Friday, November 7th, they do have a big reader thing called Reader Nation, and there's going to be like 200 authors, and James Patterson is one of the headliners.
Oh.
No, that's the last day. Like the last day of the author conference is Author Nation turns into Reader Nation, and it's all about the readers. So gotcha. I don't have a table there or anything, but I am going to be a floater. I did volunteer to help with the reader event. So yes, if you're in Vegas next Friday. So I'll be there. And then I am also re-releasing on November 13th. I'm really excited. I got the rights back to 2 of my cowboy series from my publisher. And so the very first book is coming out, being re-released. New title. I'm changing it from 3rd person to 1st person. And I'm going to add a little bit more content to it. So,
do you have a cover yet for it?
I do. I mean, I don't have it on me, but
so you can't show it to us? No, you can screen share.
I will see if I can find it on here. I put it in my newsletter last week for Dylan. I'll see if I can find it. I was not prepared for that. Because I can't like share it from my computer because I'm on here. I'll find it while we're talking. But then also, what else was I going to say? I guess that's it. But yeah, so the series that I'm redoing is the Tying the Knot in Texas series. So that was The Cowboy Says I Do, Her Kind of Cowboy, and Crazy About a Cowboy. So
can I ask you which one has the pig?
That is the Holiday Texas series. And I actually got the rights back to that series as well. It all came in at the same time. And I'm going to be redoing that one too. But I'm going to not be redoing, I'm going to be redoing that one after this. Here, I'm pulling it up. Okay, here's the cover. Oh my gosh, hold on. There, I don't know if you can tell. Oh, because it's all virtual. On. Oh my
you gotta just get rid of that blurry background and we could see it.
I don't remember how to do that.
You go to systems or whatever. In here. Virtual background.
Yes, I know. Okay, there.
Okay. Oh, Faking I Do, cute. Oh,
yes. So the series name,
I love them.
It's Blame It On I Do is the new series name, and then the first book is called Faking I Do. And it's, for those of you who have already read it, it is or if you haven't read it, it's she's the mayor, the reluctant mayor of the little small town in Texas, because her dad got kicked out of being a mayor, so she takes it over. And then the hero is the deputy sheriff, who is also her brother's best friend, and they have to pretend like they're engaged because she's trying to revamp their little town into the most romantic place in Texas to get married. after their biggest employer moves out of town. So
Gotcha. Okay, but
yes.
Stacey, we need to hear from Stacey soon.
Yes,
And we need
can
to
we
actually
please hear
get
from
her.
Stacey?
Yes.
Stacey's been just sitting there, just being,
I know, we love
smiling
you.
and
We're
everything for
sorry.
15 minutes. Stacey, please, yes, tell us about yourself.
Okay. Excuse me. Well, my name is Stacey. I am based out of Minneapolis. I grew up here in Minnesota. Moved around for a while, but I'm back. Minnesota always draws you back. And I write romantic suspense and contemporary romance, and I'm excited to be here.
Okay, which one do you like most? Romantic suspense or contemporary romance?
Oh, that's
like
hard.
great.
I think probably romantic suspense, although they take me longer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I get stumped more often figuring it out.
Well,
yeah, that would be so much fun, I think. I just finished another Frida McFadden book for our book club, and it's just, I love a good twist that you don't see coming. Love it. But yeah, I think my brain just does not work that way. So yeah, having to plan all that out in advance. And I'm a discovery writer too. So when you're working on romantic suspense or, thrillers like that, you kind of need to know how it's going to end so you can back up and write toward that. Don't you?
Yeah, you do. It helps.
I mean, it really helps. Yeah.
But it is the hardest part. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have to make sure that you've dropped in all your clues and red herrings, because then when you go back and reread it, you got to make sure that it didn't just come out of nowhere.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
It's like you want people after the fact to go, oh, I see the little breadcrumbs that were left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, should we hear from her?
Yeah, I was going to say, Stacey volunteered to read first.
Yeah.
So yeah, are you starting from page 1, or do you need to set it up for us at all?
Yeah, a little bit of context. So I'm reading from my first book, which is Tattoo My Heart. I'm probably going to have the same problem with the blurriness.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm reading from the first chapter, but I'm jumping in a little bit. So just to set this scene here, Ash is the female main character. She is a doctor and has been working abroad for 3 years, so has just come back to Chicago. All the books are based in Chicago. And it is her best friend from childhood's bachelorette party. And for the bachelorette party, they are all of the girls are going to get tattoos. And the tattoo shop they're going to, is owned by Lucas Abbott, who has won a reality tattoo competition and now has kind of his own reality TV show. And so that's why they chose to go here, and all the girls are really excited about it. And of course, Ash knows nothing about this because she's been out of the country. So that's where we're at.
As you do. You always go for the yeah. I've gotten tattoos. You always go for the best one.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
All right.
Well, we will leave you to it, and we'll be back when you're done.
All right. Sounds good. Okay. So Gabby is about to go in to get her tattoo, and Ash is just there to hold her hand. So I've got a couple of sketches worked up for you to take a look at. Once you decide what you like, we can get started. Gabby claps her hands excitedly, causing me to laugh. I catch Lucas glancing at me from the corner of my eye and try to calm my reaction to him and his attention. Tonight is about Gabby, I remind myself. 20 minutes later, I wince as my best friend squeezes my hand with surprising strength, considering the tiny package. You're doing great. Let me know if you need to take a break, okay? Lucas tells her. She nods, gritting her teeth. For several minutes, it's quiet, just the hum of the tattoo machine in his hand, buzzing around us and the music pumping through the shop speaker. Hey, Luke. Sorry, man, but Krista is on the phone, says it's urgent. Jax, one of the other tattoo artists, ducks his head in and out again, having delivered his message. Lucas grimaces before switching off the tattoo gun and leaning back. Sorry, have to take this. I'll just be a minute. My eyes follow him out of our little station, watching him curiously. He's been friendly but professional, primarily focused on his design and letting Gabby and I chat around him. I hear laughter from the station next to us and smile, wondering if Raquel is enjoying her tattoo. My thoughts are interrupted by Gabby's harsh exhale. Guiltily, I turn my attention back to her. How you holding up? I'm good. Thanks for sitting with me. Of course, it's actually been really cool, even if I didn't have any idea about this place. She smiles brightly, and I feel a slight pang realizing how much I've missed her the past few years and how grateful I am we've managed to stay close. How lucky I am to be included in her wedding. I don't know how I would have gotten through junior high, let alone med school, without Gabby's perky enthusiasm. Lucas is nice, she says pointedly. I'm also reminded that Gabby knows me better than anyone on the planet. She probably noticed me noticing him. I feel my cheeks heat and know from experience the pink blush giving me away. He is, I agree, hoping she'll drop it, knowing I'm probably not going to be that lucky. You should invite him to come join us after this. What? Why? I'm shocked she would even suggest such a thing. Not because I don't think that women should be able to pick men up if that's what they want, but because it's her bachelorette party. I'm not going to ditch the girls, no matter how tempting the guy may be. I shake my head, dismissing her suggestion. You are so clueless. He can hardly take his eyes off you. If my tattoo is messed up because the tattoo artist was making googly eyes at you the whole time, I'm going to be totally pissed. I burst out laughing at this ridiculousness, but my best friend isn't done. You deserve to have some hot stranger sex, and with a celebrity, that's even hotter. You should totally invite him. I feel my blush kick up another couple of notches, both embarrassed and, I'll admit, a little intrigued by her assumption. I'm sure I am an insane shade of red at this point, and pray Lucas doesn't choose now to return. Invite him. I'm not going to invite him to join your bachelorette party. Then I will. She nods slightly and presses her lips together as if that settles the issue. No, you won't. If you don't, I totally will. You need to have some sex, and not in a boring way like you usually do. I look away, trying to hide my cringe as her remark hits home. I don't have a very exciting romantic history. Ashlyn Grace, I have known you since you were 13 and for every one of your boyfriends. You need to have good sex. Lucas would definitely be good. She draws it out, wiggling her eyebrows suggestively. I'm good, Gabby, really, but I can't help laughing at her antics. Her face settles into a serious best friend mode. Just because Will ended up being a dud doesn't mean you're doomed for mediocrity the rest of your life, you know. Totally mortified, and sure the man of the hour will walk back in any second, I hiss, Gabby, be quiet. Just in time, too, because no sooner does she settle back into her chair with a tiny huff than Lucas is back, pulling on fresh pair of gloves. I don't know if it's because we were just talking about him or because I'm having some very non-boring thoughts, but the room suddenly feels smaller, the air a little thicker than it did before. Oblivious to the tension I'm experiencing, Lucas slides onto the stool next to Gabby and smiles. Okay, sorry about that. Ready to finish this? Let's do it, Gabby agrees. His eyes meet mine and he winks playfully before returning his attention to my best friend's hip. I can't help my little thrill and wide grin in response. It makes me curious about him. And I wonder if watching his show would appease my curiosity or only make it worse. I could see an unhealthy obsession forming. Gabby catches my eye and looks directly at his bent head. Ask him, she mouths silently. I shake my head stubbornly. Ask him, she repeats. As if on cue, Lucas asks, so what else do you all have planned for the night? And Gabby narrows her eyes at me as if trying to Jedi mind trick the words into coming out of my mouth. I startle as her sister Camilla pokes her head into our room. Hey, Gabs, the others are all finished, so we'll all head over to the hotel and make sure everything is ready for this evening's entertainment. She grins, loving to have secrets she can hold over her older sister. You need anything? Want any of us to wait for you? No, we're good. You guys go ahead. I don't think we'll be much longer. Luke? 20 minutes, unless Ash changes her mind about getting a tattoo. I look over to see him smiling at me, less professional and more friendly now. My stomach flips. I know he's talking about getting a tattoo, but my earlier conversation with Gabby has all sorts of dirty thoughts springing to mind. His eyes slip to my mouth and I realize I'm biting my lip nervously. Am I changing my mind? Perfect. That'll give us plenty of time to set up the games. Camilla winks, giggles, and ducks out to rally the rest of the girls back to the hotel suites. I exhale slowly, relieved the moment was broken. Gabby looks at me expectantly, but thankfully is still focused on her sister's comments and not the unspoken tension between her tattoo artist and me. Games? I shake my head and give her a little shrug. They didn't trust me not to tell you, I admit. So you don't know either? I find the tiniest bit of satisfaction at the slight panic in her expression. Serves her right for giving me such a hard time. I think I hear Lucas snort, although he stays focused on his work. Well, thanks for that anyway, Gabby sighs. Jax enters a few minutes later, studying the design on Gabby's hip over Lucas's shoulder. Beautiful, he says. Yeah, she asks, a ridiculous smile in place. Heck yeah. I think your man will love it. A warm feeling settles into my chest, witnessing how happy my best friend is. She and Tim really are a fantastic couple. Macy and Logan packed up before and headed home. I'm going to take the trash out back and start to lock up. You good? He asks Lucas. Nodding, Lucas responds, just finishing up. Go for it. He rubs some gel on Gabby's finished tattoo and gives her aftercare instructions. She's practically bouncing on her toes. She loves it so much. He turns away slightly as she pulls her jeans back up, fastening them carefully over her hips and the bandage he applied. Let me clean up a couple things here and I'll meet up you guys up front to settle up. Gabby slips her arm through mine and we head down the short hallway back to the lobby. She nudges me with her elbow. Last chance. Are you sure you want to spend the rest of the night playing games and answering quizzes about what Tim and I fight about and where our first date was and who's the better cook when you could be spending some quality time with Lucas Abbott? I mean, when she puts it that way, I picture Lucas sharing that amazing hotel suite with me and bite back a smile. Really, though, there's no chance it's happening tonight. Tonight is for Gabby. But maybe another night. No, Lucas Abbott probably has women throwing themselves at him all the time. Do I really want to join those ranks? Could I handle a one-night casual encounter? That's never really been my thing, but then again, I've never had a man like Lucas as an option. We step into the spacious lobby and suddenly I stumble forward as Gabby is yanked away from me. I see a man wrap one arm around her torso, clamping his hand over her mouth and cutting off her cry of surprise. I stifle my own response, seeing the gun in his other hand, terrifyingly close to my best friend's ribs. A movement over his shoulder captures my stunned gaze, and I see he isn't alone, and his friend's gun is pointed at me. Automatically, I raise my hands to my sides, palms out, trying to demonstrate I'll cooperate. Okay, it's okay. I keep my voice calm and steady. Gabby is struggling, trying to pry away the hand still muffling her screams. Based on his pupils and breathing, I'm guessing this guy is high out of his mind. The other gentleman seems calmer, at least, not as jumpy. Who else is here? Mr. High as a Kite demands, trying to look around me and see if anyone else is in the hall. I am incredibly grateful the rest of the girls have already gone. Before I can say anything, his friend snatches my wrist and puts a similar hold on me. Gabby makes a high-pitched squeal and then settles down, breathing erratically. He's digging his gun into her side, warning her to be quiet. Who else? He yells again. My captor's arm squeezes me tighter. I hate it when people pull guns on me. Damn it. So that's the end of the first chapter.
Sorry, we're coming back here. There we go. So she hates it when people pull guns on her. How often does this happen?
I mean,
that's a question that's revealed later.
Okay. Because I was going to say, yeah, I hate that too.
Right.
But also, I don't know if you heard it because you were reading, but did you hear the police sirens going on? First off, did you put that on your phone?
Right.
The police for the sirens to go off? Because they went off, and then you're like, okay, it's a holdup, dude. Let's go with that.
I know. It was good timing.
Perfect timing.
Who knew?
Awesome. All right.
I was like going along with it, and all of a sudden they're like, whoa, wait a minute. The vibe definitely changed here.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I got
us in a bad spot.
Yeah. I got a tattoo with my daughter a few months ago. And so I was like all in this like mother-daughter tattoo mode, like sister or friend tattoo mode. And then all of a sudden it's a holdup and police sirens are going off in my brain. And then I was like, shit.
Just added to the atmosphere.
It did. You should
here.
Sorry. that's one of the no words. I'm sorry, Stacey. We did not tell you that I have a worse mouth than anybody that's probably been on this show.
This is why we can't have nice things, Dawn.
We can't have nice things here. Yeah. But I am curious about a few things. What give you the inspiration to write this book or this series to be exact?
I really am kind of a fiend for reality competition shows. And I just kind of started thinking about like what would it be like for somebody who has kind of this new fame from a reality show to then meet somebody, and how would that impact them? And so and I like the competition shows because they showcase a talent or a passion that somebody has. And I thought tattoos would be a really fun thing to explore and allow. So this is the first book in the series. There's 4 books in the Vanished series. And so each of the staff that you meet in this book have their own kind of story as well, which is fun because you keep kind of revisiting the characters.
Okay, so my other question is, how many tattoos did you get in order to write this series?
I actually only have 1.
Okay.
But there's 2 more that I would like to get. So I have plans for more.
And did you get the tattoo before you started this series, or was this during?
No, it was before. But I did watch a lot of the show Ink Master, if anybody wants to set down.
Yeah.
So that was my research.
I love it when you can watch research. I mean, it's great. Yeah.
Learned a lot.
So okay. So do you write settings that you know, or do you write settings that you need to research and explore and write?
Mostly settings I know. So like I said, I grew up in Minnesota, but I kind of moved around a lot before coming back. And so I was actually in Chicago for 7 years. And so when I first started kind of envisioning these characters, that is where I saw them. And so even though I didn't release the book and finish the book until I was back in Minnesota, that was that was where they lived. And so it's fun for me to go back and revisit my memories of Chicago as well, because I really do. I loved that city. So
nice. Yeah.
And I know we talked a little bit about romantic suspense and, needing to know the plot and stuff like that. But one of the most common questions we get from our viewers and listeners is, are you a plotter or a pantser?
Yeah, I really am a pantser, which makes it very tricky. But I'll have kind of a rough idea, at least, of the kind of mystery piece of it. So, who the bad guy is, what their motivation is, why they're doing it. But then a lot of the characters take me on a journey that I don't always know about ahead of time. So,
yeah. With that being said, how do you get your inspiration? Like sometimes I'm in the shower and all of a sudden I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I mean, really from anything, from just, I think stories themselves are all around us all the time and are really inspiring. And so, I'll take inspiration from people I know, from other movies or books that I think I would make a different choice if I was that character and want to play that out a little bit. And then they continue to evolve from, those kind of first imaginings.
So this is a question we get a lot, but if you were going to write in a genre because it kind of, sorry, I got
you got a tickle.
I got a tickle in my lungs. If you're going to write in a genre that you don't write in, which one would you do? Which one would you choose?
Ooh. I don't know if I would ever actually manage to do this, but I am really intrigued by doing like a fantasy. And just the world building that has to go into that, I think is so incredible. So I think it would be really a challenge for me, but yeah, would be really fun to experiment with that and creating a whole world. And
Whole world. Yeah.
yeah.
I know I've
Okay.
often thought that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
as somebody who's more of a pantser, I think I'd probably screw it up because, you know, I'd forget some of the rules that I built in for myself to keep myself on track. And
That's why as you're writing, Dylan, you got to write. And then when you realize you're in the middle of something you should know, you got to stop and write it down on an actual piece of paper. So that
I
you can
have
write again.
lots of pieces of paper. That's the problem. I collect notebooks. And then, I mean, my writing friends will vouch for me on this. I collect notebooks, and then when I go looking for the notebook that has, you know, that note in it, I can never find it. So
Yeah.
I think I would have to do something digitally if I were going to try to keep track of world building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
A spreadsheet. You're a spreadsheet girl. Oh,
I am
she
a
just
big
admitted.
spreadsheet girl.
I have spreadsheets.
I try with spreadsheets. I really do.
I love.
And then I lose my spreadsheets too because I need, yeah. I just need someone to come in and organize my life.
I know. I know.
So.
Yeah. So I do have one more question, and Deanna requested it. She's our usual question, please, Dawn, and I don't think you know what that is, Stacey.
No.
However, I will let you know. If your love life were a trope, which one what would it be? Or tropes? You can have two if you want.
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I would say found family, if that counts, because I think community is really important. I have a great group of girlfriends that mean a lot to me, and found family is definitely a through line in all my books. So for sure that. And then right now, love life. Oh goodness. I don't like fake dating. I don't even know.
Hey,
Fake
that's one of my favorite
dating?
tropes.
That actually leaves a lot of questions in my brain. Like, have you been on a fake date recently?
No.
Did you go on somebody's wedding? Did you go to somebody's wedding where you're like, yes, for $50, I will be your date?
No, but I would love to do that.
Oh, yeah. See, even Deanna's like, ooh, do tell. Like, fake dating. Oh, I love it.
I just watched The Holiday not that long ago,
Yeah.
which, yeah, that's like the ultimate fake dating
Yep.
Yeah.
rom-com.
Okay, but Dylan, we are actually 1 minute over when we actually need to put the next author on. So can you please
I
spin
did
around
not
in
know
your
that we were
chair?
like keeping to a time.
I did. Well,
Dawn.
I want to see Dylan. I want to see Dylan spin around in her chair and come out the other side as Eve London.
Oh,
So
it might be more like my head will just spin around and then
try it. Let's see it happen.
and I don't have either one of these books in paperback yet, so I'm going to be reading like from another window on my computer screen, so this should be interesting.
Okay. Spin around in your chair though.
I can't. There's a dog behind me. I'm sorry. Okay. Woo!
Fine.
Now I'm
Okay.
in London. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, you just
Okay. All right. Should I introduce myself, I guess?
yeah, introduce yourself. Tell us what you're
Oh.
working on, what you want us to know about you.
So let me see which one I have up first. I can read from October's Bad Boy Cullen first. And this is actually chapter 2. Oh, you put me up there. Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So I'm going to start a timer so I can because I'm not going to be looking at this. So if I start glitching or something, you're going to have to pop on here and yell at me because I won't be able to see you. But yeah, I was just going to read a little bit from each. So I'll read from October's Bad Boy, Cullen, first. And this is chapter 2. Our hero is Cullen. He is one of the bad boys of Mustang Mountain. This is the series that I co-write with Casey Rose. And he just found out in the first chapter that he's dad. He had a one-night stand, and she passed away, and now Child Protective Services showed up with an 8-month-old baby that is his. And so this is chapter 2. Our heroine Rose is coming to his cabin because they live in the mountains of Montana to help out. Okay, I'm starting my timer. So here we go. I stood on the porch of Cullen Jameson's cabin and waited for someone to come to the door. I'd already knocked twice. I could tell by the sound of a baby's cries coming from inside that someone was home. Ruby had begged me to come as soon as I could. She had an event over in Bozeman this weekend and asked if I could help Cullen take care of a baby until she could get back. I told myself I was just doing her a favor. That's what I always did. Help, then move on. No roots, no strings. This wasn't just any baby either. I'd heard the rumors, and Ruby had confirmed them. Cullen found out he was a dad less than 24 hours ago, and everyone in Mustang Mountain already knew all about it. It wasn't the first time I'd seen someone thrown into parenthood overnight. As a kid, I knew what it felt like to be dropped off and told to make the best of it. But I'd never been on the other end of it and couldn't imagine the shockwave that had sent through his life. He had a reputation for being the kind of man who didn't want to settle down. Ruby said he wasn't sure what he was going to do yet, but he needed all the help he could get. I lifted my fist to knock again, but the door swung open. Cullen stood in the doorway, his hair sticking out all over like he hadn't slept in days. He wore a wrinkled flannel with something white and crusty down the front and held a baby carrier in his hand. For a man who looked like he'd recently lost a fight with a burp cloth, he had no right having eyes that warm or a face that handsome. Life really wasn't fair. Are you Rose? The look in his beautiful brown eyes begged for me to say yes. Ruby must have told him I was on my way. Yes. I stepped past him into the cabin and caught a whiff of dirty diapers. Several empty baby bottles sat by the sink, and a huge dog licked something out of a small plastic bowl on the kitchen table. She won't stop crying. Cullen held the baby carrier toward me. The little girl's face was bright red and tears streaked her cheeks. I immediately set it down and started to unbuckle her. When's the last time you held her? Held her? He looked at me like I'd grown another head. Yes. I lifted the baby out of the carrier and cradled her in my arms. Instinct kicked in, and all the time I'd spent swaying another unlucky foster kid on my hip took over. I rocked from side to side. Her cry softened and then stopped. Cullen took a deep breath. She stopped crying. How did you do that? I literally just picked her up. Do you want to hold her? I held out my arms, expecting him to take her, but he took a big step back instead. She doesn't like me. Ruby left a few hours ago, and she's been crying ever since. The bowl the dog had been licking on the table clattered to the floor, drawing his attention. Have a seat. Do you want coffee? His big couch swallowed me up as I sank down onto the cushions. Sure, just black is fine. Does she have a name? Calliope, he said from the kitchen. Ozzy, get out of here. Darn dog thinks he's in heaven. While he dealt with the dog, I looked around the interior of the cabin. It was definitely a bachelor pad. A huge TV hung above the mantel of a large fireplace. Cullen's firefighter gear sat next to the front door, along with a couple of pairs of boots. There was nothing on the walls and no pictures on the bookshelf by the fireplace. Except for the couch and an ancient recliner, the only other furniture I could see was a kitchen table and a few mismatched chairs. Ozzy trotted over and stuck his nose into my chest. He must have been a mix of a few big breeds. Calliope smiled and grabbed a handful of his fur. I'm going to grab a fresh shirt real quick, if you don't mind. Cullen walked past, his fingers already undoing the buttons on his flannel. Take your time, I can stay for an hour or two. He turned around, his shirt falling from his shoulders, exposing the kind of abs I'd only seen in underwear ads, along with a few dark tattoos on his chest. An hour or two, but I need help. Sorry, Ruby asked me to stop by before work. I've got a shift at the Merc that starts at 1. Ruby had been kind enough to offer me some part-time work when I'd ended up stranded in Mustang Mountain a couple of weeks ago. I'd been on my way from California to anywhere else when my car broke down, and now I was trying to save up enough to replenish my savings before I took off again. Cullen reached for his phone. I could only hear his side of the conversation. Hey, Ruby, Rose is here. Do you really need her at the Merc today? It didn't matter to me whether I spent my afternoons stocking shelves or changing diapers. As long as I got paid for my effort, I'd be adding to the money I needed to get on the road again. That was the lie I told myself. Truth was, watching him try mattered more than I wanted to admit. He paced the hall and let out a series of mms before finally smiling. Thanks, I owe you one. I ran my hand between Ozzy's ears while Calliope smiled up at me. Oh, smiled up at the shaggy dog. Let me guess, you sweet-talked her into giving me the afternoon off. I should have asked you first, but I'm desperate. The smile was gone, replaced by a deep crease between his brows. Will you stay this afternoon, please? I'd be willing to bet that Cullen Jameson had never known the meaning of the word desperate before an unexpected baby showed up. He didn't look like he'd ever had to wonder where his next meal might come from, or worry about a foster dad taking liberties he didn't deserve. I charged $15 an hour. That was more than I was making at the Merc. If he wanted me to stick around, it would have to be worth my time. Fine. His shoulders sagged and he let out a huge exhale. I'm going to get that clean shirt. I'll be back in a minute. I didn't intend to watch him go, but my gaze followed him down the hall. His dark jeans out low on his hip, showing off a sliver of the waistband of whatever he had on underneath. Feeling like I was getting a look at something I shouldn't, I turned my attention back to Calliope. The dog had given up on finding any more snacks and settled on a pillow in front of the fireplace. I spotted a diaper bag by the recliner and got up to check the inventory. Ruby said he might be running low on supplies. Her schedule's on the table, Cullen said as he came back into the room. He'd pulled on a Mustang Mountain Firehouse t-shirt that stretched taut across his broad chest. I held the baby in one arm while I counted diapers. He was down to a handful. You need to go to the store. She's only got enough diapers to last another night. Where's the rest of her stuff? And when's the last time you changed her? Ruby changed her before she left. I've got 2 cans of formula. That should last a long time, shouldn't it? You haven't checked her diaper since Ruby left? I immediately got up and spread a blanket down on the couch. That was hours ago. Ruby set up a space on my dresser if you want to do it there. He jerked his thumb over his shoulder, motioning to his bedroom. I couldn't remember the last time I'd been in a man's bedroom, but it had been years. This wasn't about me, though. Fine, show me. Cullen led the way to where Ruby had set out a changing pad on top of a hand-hewn dresser and stacked diapers in a drawer underneath. I laid Calliope down and put my hand on her chest to keep her from rolling. Wipes are here, Cullen said, handing me a packet. You're going to change her. I moved out of his way while still keeping my hand on the baby. We were starting with tiny steps. So, all right, I'm going to stop there. And then I'll go over to Mountain Man Forbidden. And this one, I don't know, I only have a couple minutes left, but let me see. I will scroll down. I'll just read a tiny bit here. So I'm starting on chapter 1, and our hero is Ridge, and he is one of the mountain men that has been put on this list called the X list. That is basically a blog post that called out these 6 mountain men and why nobody should date them. And so now there's a guy, this is the 5th book in the series, so now there's a guy in town that's doing a podcast about it. So we're starting in the middle of chapter 1, and this is Ridge's POV. While I'd been dealing with the asshole playing the podcast, a woman had entered the bar. Oh, he also owns a bar called the Naughty Tap. I glanced over at where she was bent over one of the low round tables near the front of the room. Dark brown hair flowed down her back, so long it almost reached her butt. Snug jeans wrapped around thick hips, accentuating every curve. She was exactly my type, and I was in the mood for a major distraction. It was late afternoon, at least an hour before the after-work happy hour crowd would come in. That meant the only server I had working was on break. Most folks came to the bar to order, but this woman didn't seem to be in any hurry. I caught a glimpse of her profile. Attraction simmered low in my gut. I'll be back in a sec, I said in Thatcher's general direction before rounding the bar and heading her way. When I'd almost reached her, she turned around. My lungs froze solid. I recognized that face. Green eyes, the color of sea foam, the scattering of freckles across her nose. Ridge Backstrom. She thrust her hand toward me. You remember me, Jillian Sonder? You used to date my sister. Instinct had me reaching for her hand before I thought about it. Heat traveled up my arm from where we touched. Jillian, I heard you moved back a while ago. She pulled her hand back like touching me had been a mistake. That's right. I'm working at Town Hall. I'd heard that too. I haven't seen you around. A smile stretched across her lips that looked a hell of a lot fuller and softer than the last time I'd seen her. That's probably because I've been avoiding you. Well, I appreciate your honesty. Any particular reason why? I wasn't the kind of guy that gave a flying F whether people liked me or not, but she had me curious. You almost ruined my sister's life, for one. She cocked her head, watching me like she was trying to get a reaction. Come again? I dated Jillian's older sister during high school, but we'd broken up almost a dozen years ago. She was the one who turned me off long-term relationships or any kind of relationship at all. She lifted her arm to tuck her hair behind her ear. The bracelets on her wrist jangled, and the scent of something earthy and warm drifted over. You broke her heart. The urge to defend myself made my chest tighten. That was years ago. Yes, it was, but she still told me to steer clear of you, which I would, but the world has a jacked up sense of humor. One shoulder lifted in a half shrug. I need your help, Ridge. I blinked hard. What could I possibly do for you? I'm so glad you asked. She picked up a flyer from the table and held it out to me. The summer music program was so successful, we've been asked to extend it a few more weeks. Your patio out back is the perfect place to host it. What's wrong with the park? That's where they'd held it all summer long. It's not that I didn't want the business, but I was trying to stay out of the limelight until the X-list mess died down, not paint a big neon target on my back by bringing in a ton of new traffic. It's getting dark too early. Unless we want to start at 3 o'clock, we won't have enough lighting to last until the end. You've got lights and a fire pit on your patio. Unfortunately, it's perfect. Believe me, I've looked for other options. She arched a brow, her jaw tight. What do you say? No. All right, I'll stop there.
I'm just wondering if you were going to do it or me, but I did it.
You did it.
I did
Thank
it.
you.
Yes. Yes. I was like enthralled in that last one. Why did you have to stop?
Sorry, there's a lot of tension because
I mean, I'm a small town kind of girl, so I love this.
Well, and you have a lot of sisters. Did you ever date one of your sister's exes?
I did not. However, every single guy we dated told us, if you ever break up with me, I'm just going to date one of your sisters. So it was a thing. It never actually happened because nobody actually.
You have like, I don't know, you have like 17 sisters, Dawn. I mean,
I have 4 sisters.
Yeah, it's a lot.
One brother. He is now dating a girl we consider a sister, so I can say 5.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, because if my brother breaks up with her, she's already in our family. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That is amazing.
I really like that one because I mean, when you have an ex's little sister, and normally I've written a lot of like brother's best friend romances, but this is the first ex's sister I've written because her older sister and Ridge have history, and then but it's been like a dozen years, and Jillian was younger, so but yeah, all of that comes out
as younger sisters do, dating older. Yeah.
So, but yeah, both of those came out this month, and they're both novella length. So
okay. So I'm going to show the one question that we got, and it's specifically for you, Dylan.
I saw that from Danielle in the very beginning. Yes. Hi, Danielle. So the process to change a story from third to first is you basically go through and kind of rewrite everything in first person instead of third. So, and I feel like, I don't know, I prefer writing in first person. Every trad book I've written, they wanted it in third person. So that's what I did. But I feel like writing in first person, I feel like it puts you more in the characters' heads and you get a deeper point of view. And I also feel like, I don't know, it just seems like that's what a lot of indie books. I mean, when I don't know that I've read
a non-first person view.
Yeah, I'm trying to even think, like, when's the last time I've read a book that was indie published that wasn't first person? I mean, I think they're out there for sure. And I think I don't know, I just wanted to kind of update it, and since I've always loved writing in first person. I wanted to switch it.
That's actually a very interesting concept that you bring up, is because, like, yes, all traditional editors want you in third person.
Mhm.
And the
I don't know if
majority of,
I don't know that that's true anymore, though.
yeah,
Like, I think now there are definitely more traditional
first
books
person.
that are being published in first person.
Mhm.
But when I first started publishing trad, which I mean was only in 2018, but it feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah, that
third
was all
person.
they wanted was third person, at least
Yeah.
for me.
No, I mean, I experienced that too, for
So
sure.
yeah,
It was like, so I never did first person because I honestly was like,
here I'm hiding that so we can see Stacey's face again because I felt like it
we
was
can
totally
actually
cutting off
also
me.
hide this one because we're pretty close to like
Yes.
being done with the episode.
And I mean, I guess like it doesn't bother me to read a book in third person. But I know there are a lot of readers who, and then you get into the whole, you know, well, is it first person present or first person past?
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of the indie books I read now seem to be first person present, which felt so odd to me, like the first time I read it, but I really like it. But I don't know, it feels more natural to me to write in first person past than to write in first person present, which is really interesting because Casey Rose and I write the Mustang Mountain books together, and we're on this is the third year. So the Bad Boys of Mustang Mountain is like the third series that we've done together. And she writes her books in first person present, and I write my books in first person past. And I wasn't sure if that was going to be weird for readers, but nobody has mentioned it at all.
Oh,
at all.
Interesting. So, that's interesting.
Yeah. And especially even when, you know, like I write my books in first person past, and then we write the epilogue to each other's books because that's chapter 1 of the next book. So like she'll write her whole book in first person present, and then I'll write the epilogue, which is chapter 1 of my book, and it'll be in first person past.
So can I ask, I want to ask, because we do have this like on podcasts on everything. Anybody that has ever read Eve London and the Bad Boy series, right, the Mountain Man series, have you noticed that the book is different from the epilogue? Have you noticed that? I wonder if readers have noticed.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Danielle got because Danielle was my assistant when we were in Rock and Romance Readers last summer, and I know Danielle got one of the, I actually happen to have it right here, one of the special editions of the big books, Mountain Riders, that has like all 6 in there. So I don't know if Danielle's still watching, but I know she had a copy of that. I don't know if she's read it yet, but yeah, I don't know.
You'll have to tell me. You'll have to tell me, because I'm curious if your readers have noticed that there's a difference between the epilogue and the book.
I mean, nobody's complained.
Yeah. So. That's interesting. I love that. I love that concept.
Danielle wanted to know, though, which point of view are your books in, Dawn?
Third person. Yeah. I tried to write first person, but then I realized that I suck at it.
Well, I think it takes practice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I honestly like wrote half of a book in first person once, and then when I was going back through it, I was like, oh God.
I think it depends on I don't know. I think maybe there's like one that feels more natural as a writer, but I mean I think you could probably do whatever POV you wanted to, just but it takes a little practice. And then what gets really tricky is if I was writing like a trad book and then also writing an indie book at the same time, and if I was tired, I would start writing and the chapter would start in third person and end in first person, and then that got really got really messy.
And you're like, oh crap.
Yeah. That would be a big oops. So then I'd have to go fix it. But
that's where oh gosh. Yeah. Oh crap.
I'm trying to remember, I can't remember which author it is, but there's an author I read who does the whole book in third person, but then will write the epilogue in first person.
It might be Eve London.
It is not. It's not.
It could be Eve London.
Here,
I'm just
here.
gonna
Danielle
say.
says
Yeah,
that
I was gonna
she
put that
is up to October and hasn't noticed it. So yeah.
up. But she also asked one more question. We're gonna do this one more question, then we got to get going because I have to go
so I
get
was
my
gonna
boys.
say, Deanna had another question too.
Oh,
so.
she did. Oh,
Yep.
shoot. Okay, let's do Danielle's. Is one view easier to write for any of you? Third person. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm first person point of view. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think first person is easier for me to write, but I mean, I guess it's not easier. Like I feel like I can write in either. It feels more natural because you're actually, I feel like when you're writing in first person, you're actually like putting yourself inside that character. And so, whereas when you're writing in third person, I mean, you're kind of like you're in their point of view, but there's a distance to it. I mean, you can, I don't know, you can go into deep third person and deep first person, and like you can go in a deeper point of view, whether you're third person or first person. But yeah, it's interesting. I think a lot of readers have a preference, which
yeah. I feel like when I do third person in my brain, I'm watching a movie. Do you actually but when I'm first person, you're in it. So do you think in first person or third person? I'm sorry, I'm getting deep here. Do you think in first person or third person?
Like in real life, or when you're writing
in
a book?
life? In real life.
I don't think like, oh, look, Dylan is going to the store. I mean, I think like I'm going to the store. Like, what are you talking about?
Do you think I'm though? Do you like, oh, I'm gonna go to the store, or do you think like, okay, yeah, it is I. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, don't, Dylan. We're gonna move on to the next question.
Okay.
What's the process you have to go through to get the rights back to your books?
I know we are short on time, so Deanna, if you have several hours sometime, no, just kidding. I mean, it basically, it depends. But normally in your contract, if you are traditionally published, you'll normally have a clause in there that will refer to when a book is considered to be like out of print. And it might be that, it's selling under a certain number of copies a year or whatever. But at least in my case, once my books were close to selling under a certain number of copies per year, then they're considered to be out of print, and then you can ask for your rights back. And so I did. And so some contracts, it's like a certain number of years, or sometimes it's, if they're selling under a certain number of copies. But so I did, and sometimes that's all it takes, and sometimes the publisher will say no, and then you go back and forth and you wait for many, 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 many years, and then sometimes they will say yes, and sometimes they will still say no. So yeah, that's the condensed version. And then they'll send you a rights of reversion to basically say that that now you have the rights to publish your book and everything on your own. So you will notice if you go looking for the ebook of The Cowboy Says I Do, or like my Holiday Texas books, or my Tying the Knot in Texas books, the ebooks will no longer be available, or they shouldn't be. But like the audiobooks and the print books are still up because they still have the rights to those. So
yeah. With that being said, I'm probably going to be late picking my children up.
All right, let's wrap this up because Dawn has to go pick up people from football. So Dawn, we have 2 more episodes left in 2025. We will be here the second Thursday of November and the second Thursday of December.
Yeah.
So
we will be. And we love you guys. So even if we're not live streaming, message us on social media and we will totally
we're not going anywhere. We're just taking a break we're reclaiming our Thursday nights for a little while.
We are. Yes.
So, but Stacey,
So-
thank you so much for jumping
thank
in.
you.
Thanks for being able to, because we had some schedule changes this week, and so Stacey was kind enough to jump in at the last minute and take one of our spots. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, happy
Yes.
to.
Yeah. All right. Thank you
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
And we'll see you on the second Thursday of November.
Yeah, we will be back in November.
Bye.
All right. Have a good night. Bye.